Hello everybody, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the two tropical systems we have in the Atlantic right now. So here we go. So here's the current tropical storm we have making landfall in southern South Carolina right now, making it the fourth named storm of the 2021 season and the second to make landfall on U.S. soil so far. Claudette was technically the first. This tropical storm is named Tropical Storm Danny. This was originally Tropical Depression number 4, but has actually been upgraded to Tropical Storm Danny and will continue to produce showers and gusty winds through this evening in southeast Georgia as it moves west-northwestward. As you can see here in the GFS model, we're likely to see a few embedded thunderstorms in southeastern Georgia. You can see it's a little darker. We see a darker green show up on the radar. However, as you see here, though, the best instability is located south or in southern South Carolina. You can see here right in the center here, Tropical Storm Danny. You can see it just explodes. You can see here just around it, we have it around 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram in terms of surface-based K values, which really contributes to that instability and convection we're looking for. But as we go to the center of Tropical Storm Danny, we see it just explodes up to 2,000, possibly even 2,500 here in some areas. So very high instability there, although some of the thunderstorms we're going to be seeing will likely be along the border here in southeastern Georgia, closer to the Carolina border. But as you're seeing right now, this track here is actually very accurate. It was actually expected to make landfall along the South Carolina coast this evening, which it actually is right now. It's currently 9:30 p.m. and it's continuing to move northwestward here, mainly west. Then we see showers and thunderstorms that are actually beginning to taper off tonight as it moves more inland. Even if you look at the CMC model here, we see showers and thunderstorms that have popped up over northeast Florida that will also taper off this evening as daytime heating decreases. The forecast is actually updated to reflect latest wind guidance from the National Hurricane Center. As the latest KCLX, which is actually the Charleston weather radar, is actually detected a small band of moderate to heavy rain pivoting over the lower Savannah River. So that region, so we're going to see some very strong winds as this thing actually moves more westward. So now we're just going to focus on the coastal areas here that'll be affected, which includes cities such as Charleston. We can see here in the radar data on the CMC here, it clearly shows that the center of Tropical Storm Danny was actually off the coast of South Carolina low country, tracking west northwest. Rain bands associated with this tropical storm will actually increase across coastal areas through the rest of the afternoon into early evening, which is actually what we're seeing right now. That is what the radar has actually depicted here. We even see here on high resolution guidance, this actually indicates that the rainfall bands may actually reach the inflection point near the South Carolina Georgia state line, resulting in periods of heavy rainfall. And latest Storm Prediction Center mesoscale analysis actually indicated that STP values around 1 unit will actually be along the South Carolina coast. So we're actually expected to see very heavy rains here along the South Carolina-Georgia border here, really in southeastern Georgia. Again, it's actually possible that convection over the South Carolina low country will actually show periods of concentrated on meadows. I'd actually like to change our focus here to upstate South Carolina, where we again see Tropical Storm Danny is already formed off the coast of South Carolina and impacting the region this afternoon and evening. The impacts are still on track as previous forecasts, where we have sporadic gusty winds up to 30 miles per hour or so, and some locally heavy rainfall within bands of showers and possibly thunderstorms as well. The Weather Prediction Center has the entire region in the marginal risk for flooding, mainly due to the heavy downpours possible within any of the showers or bands that will be passing by this area. I'd really also like to point out this surge in moisture and strong moisture convergence that will actually form along the coast through this afternoon, driving these showers and thunderstorms across the region. Outside of any precipitation, winds will really be around 10 miles per hour with gusts near 20 miles per hour, which will actually be possible here. Gusty winds within any precipitation or heavy rains may actually even reach up to 30 miles per hour. But again, as we actually look into the center here, we have that lower wind shear, so not very high winds there within the center. But all along here, almost along, really along the center, or in a hurricane case scenario, it would actually be considered the eye wall. Same concept almost applies here with this tropical storm. We see along the center here, we actually have winds gusting up to around 30 miles per hour here. Current observations and high resolution guidance are actually in reasonable agreement, I'd say, albeit the guidance was too slow with the leading bands actually. So expecting scattered showers and thunderstorms, that's what I'm expecting, to overspread the area throughout the afternoon and evening. Keep in mind we're actually only talking about a a little more inland in South Carolina. But as you see here, the majority of the precipitation will actually weaken by about midnight, but some lingering precipitation across the central Savannah River area and upstate is actually expected. So now let's go even further inland, really into the Tennessee region. We actually have a large mid-Atlantic subtropical ridge and associated mid-level subsidence in place here that are actually forced Tropical Storm Danny inland over central South Carolina. But the National Hurricane Center track does not bring the remnants into the Midlands and Lakelands tonight, with some elevated winds, maybe gusting to 30 miles per hour or so as the remnants dissipate, moving into Lawrence and Greenwood counties. It actually stay around 1 to 4 a.m. is what it's actually looking like. Outer main bands have actually started to move into the southeastern zones as of right now, but actually begin to lose intensity once the activity approaches the border. The better moisture associated with the remnants doesn't really move into the area until the overnight hours. Moisture will actually continue to increase overnight, especially across the southern zones, as the subtropical ridge I mentioned pushes eastward and the subsidence actually breaks down a little. Will actually prompt continued mechanical lift. Will allow for some increasing rainfall totals, especially across the mountain zones overnight and into tomorrow, as we get some of those more heavier rain bands begin to move in. So it's likely to increase. Instability is likely to even increase as well across the western upstate upper Savannah Valley. And with the remnants of Danny hanging around the area as well, we'll actually have to watch this area for any kind of increased chance of organized convection during the afternoon tomorrow. Okay, so there's your in-depth update on Tropical Storm Danny. But now I move on to our next system that we are actually currently monitoring, which is currently only a disturbance that we're seeing that actually has the potential of becoming a tropical cyclone. This has actually been designated as Invest 95L, meaning the National Hurricane Center is investigating this area for potential tropical development. This small low-pressure system is located several hundred miles east-southeast of the Georgia-South Carolina border, which actually we're seeing Danny make landfall right now. Showers and thunderstorms associated with this system are currently disorganized because of the unfavorable upper-level winds that we've been seeing. Although some additional development is still possible today, especially as it moves across the warmer waters of the Atlantic. So then again, a tropical depression or storm could actually form, while the National Hurricane Center has given this disturbance a chance of tropical development. This system remains disorganized, and little development is expected over the next couple of days. However, some gradual development is possible later this week as we move rapidly westward, as we see here on the satellite imagery, or should I say future satellite imagery. The National Hurricane Center has actually given this system a medium chance of development over the next 5 days. It is expected to reach the Lesser Antilles late Wednesday or Wednesday night. One thing that actually aids the development of this disturbance is a strong tropical wave that is expected to bring I'd say more squally weather conditions across the region on Thursday. This tropical wave actually has a low chance of tropical storm formation during the next 5 days. Regardless, scattered to locally numerous showers and thunderstorms are expected to affect the islands with the wave passage, increasing the potential for urban and small stream flooding, I'd say, as well as localized flash flooding, of course. Now, as we actually move into the future here, we see that a strong ridge is actually forecast to build across the Atlantic basin behind the wave. And another area, Saharan dust with drier air is expected to move over the islands and promote fair weather conditions on Friday into the weekend. However, as we move even further into the future here, we see another tropical wave that is forecast to move mainly south of the region during the weekend, which really only prompts increasing shower activity across the islands. Model guidance is actually not in current agreement with the wave passage during the weekend. As we can see here in the European model, it actually has a faster solution than the GFS. If we I can show you guys right now if we actually move to the GFS, which we actually have a wave entering the Eastern Caribbean by late Monday. Anyway, guys, that's really it for this update here. I know it was rather short than usual, but here it's really all we have right now going on in the Atlantic basin. I may actually do an update on the Pacific right now with former Hurricane Enrique, but it's how you pronounce it. I believe now it's actually a tropical storm. We had very high winds there for quite a while. I believe it even had quite an impact on portions of Southern California and even portions of Mexico as well. So if I do get a chance, I may do an update on that and really just do a recap on what happened with that system. If so, I'll try to let you guys know, possibly on my Instagram, which is again weatherman_315. Please check that out if you haven't already. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel, even liking this video if you really do enjoy these updates. I'd really appreciate it, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this update. I will see you guys in the next one.